It's absolutely roasting today. We are here at Midwest Moto. We've got a 2022 Interceptor. This particular bike's got 5,000 miles on the clock and it's for sale for £3,699. It is an interesting bike, particularly because we've got a lot of extras added to the bike, which is kind of useful. I'll start from the front. You've got the fork gaiters, the fly screen there, helps with the buffeting a little bit. And then these are the big ones, the engine bars, which are going to help protect your casings if you do drop the bike. At the back, you've got this pannier racking system, which is really substantial, and soft luggage with what looks like a little hatch there to just reach in. So it's kind of a nice Interceptor, nicely spec'd. Got all the stuff that you'd probably want. If you are very observant, you can even tell that there's aftermarket exhaust cans on this bike. I'll just fire it up so you can hear the sound. It is a little bit different to the bog standard Interceptor. Very pleasing exhaust note. Now, Interceptor is kind of the bike that started all for Royal Enfield in the kind of the modern era. Obviously you had the Himalayan first in the sort of mid 2010s, and then 2019 you had the Interceptor and the Continental GT, both for the 650, and it was just kind of like this new option that you could go for. I think they were £5,000 new when they first launched. Instead of going for a Triumph, like there's a nice Triumph Bonneville over there out of shot, instead of going for that level of bike, you could pay a lot less money and go for one of these. They were pretty much universally liked, actually. Oh, there's actually a mudguard extender down there as well, so another cool option to have. The stock mudguard's a little bit short. They were a really, really cool bike, and they've kind of been a little bit outshadowed by the newer Royal Enfields, which you can kind of see behind me. You've got a BSA there, but you've got the Bear here, Shotgun, and there's a Super Meteor, there's a Classic 650. All of those bikes come derived from the I think it's 648cc parallel twin. 47 horsepower, but it's more than you need for the road. Lovely soundtrack to it, and it's just a really good usable classic bike, 6-speed box. So we'll take it out, see how we get on. Just getting back to the joy of riding an Interceptor. It's a lovely day for it, why not? And my hat actually matches the bike, which is a total coincidence. One thing you notice immediately about an Interceptor is how light it is. I think, to be honest, shut that down so you can hear me. Lovely noise, but it just feels really light to move around compared to the more modern bikes from Royal Enfield. I haven't been in one of these for a couple of years, so it's really going to enjoy it. Tell you what, that is a lovely noise. And if you think this is 3,700, I think Mark just told me it's 3,695, so 3,700 quid for a 2-and-a-bit-year-old bike. Whereas the new Royal Enfields, what are they, 6.5. So if you want that 650cc character, but you don't want to pay for a big amount. Oh, hello, Rocket 3. I think it was a Rocket 3 anyway, big old bike. Wow, it sounds wicked with those exhausts. I'm not normally a fan of changing exhausts. I like a stocker. Don't like silly exhausts, but yeah. Look at this road up here. I can see why this bike was so loved. Literally, it was loved from. It's still loved now, isn't it? Let's be real. But it's probably it was an obsession amongst the kind of modern classic community from 2019, probably until the lower capacity bikes came out, the Meteor and that. And then I think the Meteor, that kind of took a little bit of the spotlight away from the 650 bikes. But look at going through this little wooded glade, the bluebells are out. Whoa! Bluebells much in the thing here. Yeah, I can see why it's so much fun, and so many people have hankered after these bikes. I even hankered after them myself. I very narrowly went BSA over Interceptor just because of the single, but with these exhausts, it's got a bit of a magic rasp to it. Oh, there's the brake. The back brake isn't up to the spec of the newer Royal Enfields though. You'd think you'd have twin 300mm discs on the back of those newer 650s. Wow, the front's potent though. The seating position with the knees is a little bit with a bend, more so than the BSA, and definitely more so than the classic 650 and obviously the Super Meteor, which is forward pegs. But this is more akin probably to the Gorilla or what other bike. It's even further back than a Meteor, to be honest, or a 350 Meteor. It's got some go though. It's more toppy than the BSA, which you can actually enjoy. And then you need to use that powerful front brake just to rein it in a little bit, but yeah, listen to that. And then let's see how these Seats do. I mean, it is baking hot today, so they shouldn't really perform badly. Yeah, plenty of confidence around the corners. Let's cancel those indicators. If you haven't watched a review I've done before, you will find out that I constantly cancel the indicators. Through the bridge. Oh man, it's a lot of fun, I'm not gonna lie. It's really, really fun. Did it just pop? I think it just popped on overrun now when I lift off the gas. So this is the argument then. Do you, I'll have to wait here when it looks a little bit narrow. Do you go for one of these second-hand Interceptors, like this one, £3,695? Listen to the noise. Wow. Or do you go for one of the newer bikes? I guess it just depends on your desire to own a new motorcycle, you know, the new model as it were. There are a little bit finer things on the newer bikes, like the switchgear is alloy, not plastic. It's kind of a little bit more special looking. And the indicators tidied up a little bit. The LED headlights, of course, on the newer bikes. Is that enough to justify, as we come into Bewdley, is that enough to justify £3,000 difference? And obviously you're not having a brand new bike, it's got 5,000 miles on it, but I don't know if it is, you know. I'm having a lot of fun on this little Interceptor. And this is lighter as well. Outside of the Gorilla, the Interceptor is one of the lightest bikes in the Royal Enfield range. All of the 650s are heavier. The 350s are probably not far off an Interceptor weight, weird as it is. Tenbury, should we head up there? Head over to Tenbury Wells. It's lighter, and I think it's also, to be honest, a little bit better suspended. You've got those dual shocks at the rear with the separate reservoir. I think they're a little bit softer than perhaps the kind of idea they're going for with the newer 650s. The newer 650s are kind of like about cornering prowess. There's another Interceptor, Orange Crush. A little bit more about cornering prowess, aren't they? Whereas this, you're sort of like sat upright with a little bit of a canter forward, but it's more of a 350 experience. The shotgun's very much a kind of race around, and then the Super Meteor also has quite hard rear shocks, like a lot of cruisers do, to be honest. Something brilliant about that parallel twin in its kind of earliest original form, and in a kind of Mark 1 Interceptor. You got all the whirring and the clicking, it just feels like a mechanical beast, you know? It's not overly refined and smooth. Right, well, there we go then. So I've been out on the Interceptor, thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think for the money you can't really go wrong. This bike feels really light and it feels quite flickable, and I was thinking to myself on the ride, there's loads of bikes going off now, but I'll continue anyway. Why is that? I think these aftermarket cans that he's put on here, these are probably some kind of decat, or at least they're saving a lot of weight. So he's shaved off even more weight from the Interceptor, so it's quite light. But bimbling about through those like little picturesque villages with the bluebells and everything, you can't really go wrong for the money. And of course this one comes with a lot of kit as well. And yeah, it's just a lovely sound. I think the exhaust popped a little bit on overrun. It's got a centre stand as standard, and the engine bars and everything. So yeah, it's a really nice bike. Found it quite comfortable as well. I was expecting this to be like sitting on a wooden plank, but I don't know if this is aftermarket or not, but it was fine. Also being a bench sheep, that's weird. It's been a bench seat. If you're tall, you can obviously slide back and forth as well. It gives you a little bit more room. I'll just sit on so you can see what it looks like. So I got a little bit of a bend in the knee, so not too much. I mean, whether you were going to go touring or not on this bike, that'd be up to you really, but it is a brilliant bike for bimbling about the place on. And, as I'll just demonstrate, nice and light. Just get up on the centre stand. Also about it, it's one of these cool things where it looks nice from either side. Most bikes have a good side with the exhaust running down it, and then a not so nice side. This bike looks good whether you look at it from the left or the right. Yeah, currently for sale. So let Midwest know if you're interested. Get yourself a second-hand Interceptor.